Well, hi, Jason. It's great to be over here in Tokyo, and it's even better that I finally tracked down, had to go halfway around the world to find you, Darryl Jefferson. Obviously, you cannot take part in today's event. I can't either because of the time zone difference, but it's great to see you. We do want to spend a few minutes to just talk about the storage demands here at the Olympics. So let's be clear. I think we're talking about 7,000 hours roughly that OBS is creating. Yeah. You have multiple feeds, multiple locations. So what is in very broad strokes, the storage philosophy towards all this content?
It's a great question. We try to record and save everything, all of those hours, and we try to do it in tiers. So the things that we're doing for live turnaround, we get into the fastest storage level possible that has the fastest kind of in and out. And then there's a secondary level for kind of longer reach for maybe if something that happened when most of the country is asleep. We can wait a little on when we get to that. And then, of course, the longer term storage and our kind of forever storage. But yeah, the expectation is from everyone that we're recording everything and keeping it forever. Right. So it's a challenge to kind of keep everything queued up and have it ready for people when they need to get to it.
So is there a core archive? For example, is everything being in Stanford, or is it split across both? Or
yeah, so we have the added benefit this time of doing HDR, and our long-time archive is SDR. So we have that added bonus. So in some cases, we have two versions of things on top of it being those 7,000 hours. So most of the items are being recorded in Stanford, and kind of the direction, all the water is flowing into Stanford, so to speak. So that's where everything's recorded, everything is archived.
Gotcha. So obviously there was a year delay, as we're all aware of. Did things change? Did you change the plan given that technology keeps evolving?
Yeah. We certainly did. One of the things we kind of added and refocused was our HDR effort, and what it kind of looked like within the edit side of things, within our distribution side of things. Those are things that we kind of really retooled and refocused on, and we had to change the way we thought about it, things. And we kind of segregated for HDR. Most of the HDR production is happening in country, and most of the SDR production is happening over in Stanford. That was the vision that we did between the two sides. The other thing, and it was less because of the delay, but more the impact of COVID, was really getting the friends and family aspect. We had to import the crowds. We had to import the enthusiasm. We had to import people's families. So you'll see in almost every shot of our primetime show and the other shows, interaction with cameras that we've had to distribute all over the world. So you can see it, and the reactions are priceless, and they're part of the conversation now. And that was something we couldn't have imagined doing at that scale, and now is just a part of every show we're doing.
Gotcha. So yesterday we talked a little bit. This last question for you. The workflow for the content creators, yep. Right? You have, as you mentioned, STR, you mentioned HDR, so you could obviously have 2 copies of everything, 3 copies of everything. Yep. If I'm an editor, I'm getting confused. What am I supposed to create? So how are you trying to streamline that process so that they're not having to render 35 versions of content?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think everywhere we've had to build a workflow, we tried to make every pathway, every destination deterministic. So the person who needs to get that content, we've tried to kind of make them make the process invisible to them or transparent to them, such that they just ask for the content and we do the work behind the scenes to either change the color space or deliver the quantity of audio channels. We're also doing Atmos in the background. Right. So normalizing that content to the way their system expects it. If you're in EVS, you get that kind of layout of channels that you expect in the flavor you expect. If you're an Avid, etc. So we try to kind of normalize the content so folks don't go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different skill set, right? A color grading. If you have a regular nonlinear editor who all of a sudden is getting deep in the weeds of having to understand color correction and color space, that's a skill set they don't have, and then you're in a heap of trouble, I'm guessing.
Right, and a lot of the editors have done a ton of kind of boning up on what looks wrong, so they know immediately, like, hey, this has a LUT it shouldn't have on it. And we've had a lot of kind of conversation, and it's nuance too, right? Sometimes that color doesn't look wrong. That's the intent. That's the artistic intent there. So a lot of the editors have really had to kind of step up their game and their understanding of color. So it's kind of collaborative in that way.
Well, awesome, Darryl. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I know you're super busy. Good luck with everything. We'll obviously do some reports later this week as far once you get a little further along in the process. But again, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Jason, back to you.